is going on, everybody? Todd here once again, joined by Mori. Mori, how are you?
Nah, I'm okay.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're doing all right.
Yeah.
We got a new look. That's really cool.
Yay.
Yeah. I also set up new merch. Not for the podcast. Well, one of them will probably show up on the Precipice Podcast Network Spreadshirt page.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, both of them are available on my personal shop.spreadshirt.com/ToddEvf page. There is the 3 silver and a blue, which if you hang around the Twitch streams, you know the story about 3 silvers and a blue. If you don't, then there's a clip of it. And I mean, the description of the shirt kind of explains it. I was playing Overwatch and I predicted every box I was opening, I would predict what was in it before I opened it. And I was just like, 3 silvers and a blue, open. And it was 3 silvers and a blue. And I did that continually. Done it so much, in fact, that a good friend of ours, Sanea, now blames me whenever she opens up a loot box and it has 3 silvers and a blue. So, decided to make a shirt out of that. The other one is Toddy Podcast.
Yes.
The whole shebang.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. I joked around about making that, and then I finally did it. So, so there's that. It's interesting. You may also notice that my spirits are a little bit higher than they were last episode. I'm a little less snippy. I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. So for the last week and a half I had been without nicotine, which is very, very bad for somebody like myself. So
thank you for not biting my head off.
I mean, I can control my outbursts most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it was one of those situations where it was not very... I wasn't a pleasant person to be around for the most part. So for anybody that I may have offended, I apologize. But that brings us into interesting things that have been going on. So what have you been up to, Mori?
Work. And that's about it. And World of Warcraft, because I have no life.
Yeah.
And
fair.
Yeah. And the yeah.
And the yeah. Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah, so
blaming you for things.
Yep. I am a bad fucking influence. That's really what it comes down to.
You and Anubis are like the fucking worst.
I mean, he's like you've made the comment before. It's like I'm the podcast guy. Like I was it I can't remember the exact term you used. It might have been like the podcast husband or some shit.
Yeah,
like
something weird like that. Yeah.
And I was just kind of taken back by that. Now considering the fact that not only is it technically my fault that you got into wrestling, it is also technically my fault that you did things.
Yeah, I did stuff. I bought a vape mod and liquid, and they're on their way to my house as we speak.
Which is pretty amazing and pretty awesome. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. If I know a lot of people that didn't smoke that vape.
Okay. Because I was about to say, like, it feels really weird for me because I've I can't say I've never smoked in my life.
Yeah. But you weren't like, it wasn't like a habit.
I'm not a smoker.
Yeah. And most of the people that did it that were non-smokers that took up vaping did it because of flavor. And I made a joke earlier today with Maury saying that one episode Not this one. One episode
No.
down the road, it's going to be Vaping Shop. And
Yep.
it's going to be us just talking vape shit.
Yep.
Because that'll become a thing. We're going to have two perspectives on things. We're going to have somebody who's been doing it for quite a while, somebody that's new to it. I mean, it's just like how Gimmick Bag started.
Exactly. You have the Crystal event, and then you have the new Mar come in, and it's like, well, okay, here's my thoughts on things.
Yeah. Oh my god, like, please teach me which flavors are good. Like,
show me your ways.
And I'm like, what are you using? Well, we're gonna have to take care of a couple of those. What do you mean? For anybody that knows me, I use a drip atomizer. So like I'm very, very much, and it was mentioned on Brothering Around last night because we were talking vape stuff as well at the beginning of the show.
Oh
god. It was a good episode.
I bet it was.
I mean, it wasn't like 2 weeks ago where we were talking about Nair.
Oh my god, I about lost it on my ride home. Just hearing Wes say, like, you know, when you've like showered all off, looks like you had like you stuffed a poodle down your dress. Like, oh my fucking god, I cannot.
It's so true.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
But interesting side note, and now this actually pertains to that. So apparently in my area, if I to get ready for the summer, if I were to get a wax, if I just do the arms, it's like $30, you know, legs, right. $30. If I want like a full like neck down, $270.
Oh my god.
Because I'm a guy.
Right.
Whereas the full body female, which includes like upper lip and eyebrows and stuff like that, $120.
Huh.
Is there really $150 upcharge because of my bits? Is that what it comes down to? Maybe.
Potentially. I think it also depends on how much hair they might have to remove.
There's
from
it didn't even say, like, because I priced it out like by itself, and it's just right. Like, well, because the arms include the underarm, and it's like, oh, okay, well that ain't bad. And like the chest was like $40. It's a large area. I don't need the back, you know. And I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, this should, if I price it out separately, cost me $130. But if I go for the full body neck down, that doesn't include like eyebrows or anything else.
Right.
$270. And it's like, how? So, I mean, it's fucking ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah. And I mean, even, and here's the other thing, and this is what got me, right? So when I, you know, obviously like talking about it, you got, you know, as mentioned, the arm and the legs, chest. And then you got the they actually had a category for male Brazilian.
Interesting.
There, which is, I mean, we all know what that is. So that's...
Yeah.
So we know what that entails.
So with or without landing strip?
Well, I mean, depends on how pretty I want to feel.
Yeah.
Can you leave a little heart there? Maybe some bat wings? That'd be awesome.
Oh
Thank you.
My god.
Still reminds me of my favorite joke from Dragon Age Inquisition. If you're playing as a Kunari female and you go to romance Sarah, there's like, I mean, there's every character has a romance quest. So you do the romance quest, you get everything, and then you and Sarah start getting down and dirty, whatever. And she says, why is it shaved in the shape of a lightning bolt? And you can respond, because my Kyun demanded it.
Oh my god.
Which I fucking lost it. I legitimately lost it when I played that and that happened. I was just like, yep, this is my life now. This
That
is
is
my life.
amazing.
But yeah, I mean, I mean, summer's right around the corner. Like, honestly, it's been like fucking 85, 90 degrees around here
Ugh.
continually.
Bleh.
So basically, summer's here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'll get summer in July.
Well, we had a couple days of summer, and then it went back into fall today.
I wish it was still
And
fall.
then I think it's gonna go back to summer this weekend.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, like, the summer months suck.
mm-hmm.
Like, people don't realize that the amount of work that has to be done during the summer months for somebody to be somewhat presentable.
Mm-hmm.
Some people understand it, other people don't. Like, if you're a
Right.
bodybuilder, you understand. You go into the beach, you understand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not going to see me in a two-piece, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't have the body for it. Let's be perfectly honest. One Piece. I can do One Piece. Me and my jokes, or are they? It's for you to decide, internet.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and during the summer months, and ties back into vaping.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I like to do with my liquid is Mori sees this, but you can notice like I'm keeping the cap off of it,
Mm-hmm.
letting the liquid breathe. So if you're getting them with like the dripper top, like the dropper bottles,
Mm-hmm.
you'll want to leave it on there, like, but you don't want to like have it screwed down all the way when you're just kind of setting it to the side.
Right.
I mean, if you're storing it, it's one thing. But what
Mm-hmm.
I would do is I would take, when I would get certain flavors of liquid, I knew that they were better when they were steeped. And that's
Mm-hmm.
basically what you're doing. You put them in like pretty much a dark place or whatnot, and you let them just kind of mature.
Okay.
Some flavors are good like that. Others, I mean, you don't really notice a big benefit.
Mm-hmm.
But to speed up steeping, what I would do is I would take them and I would put them in my car during the summer. So I would
Mm-hmm.
get a hot steep, which would kind of cut the steeping time almost in half, which is
Mm-hmm.
actually pretty cool. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We'll definitely have to check in with you like next week and
Yeah,
see.
depending on how fast everything gets to me and
Yeah, because I mean,
how
you had to
quickly I
deal.
get used to it.
Yeah, because you dealt with a couple places, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you dealt with a couple places. So like this stuff may show up, but you may be waiting on like this here or that there. So
Right, which was kind of my concern with like the okay, because like one doesn't say how fast the shipping is, it just says free shipping. It's like okay,
free
fantastic. So
shipping's
when I
free
check it,
shipping though. I
yeah,
mean,
free shipping is free shipping.
yeah.
I did do the expedited shipping on the mod though. It was like only $4 extra. It wasn't bad.
Oh, that ain't bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? If it's expedited on the mod, then it's gonna be the mod and whatever else you ordered with it. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll just be waiting on juice,
Right.
which is not a problem.
Right. And since they're supposed to be closer to me, that might potentially show up
Yeah,
sooner.
they're well, I can guarantee they're closer to you than like
Yeah.
most of the places I've ordered from are closer to you than they are to me. A lot of
Somehow
them,
not surprised.
a lot of them are based West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
IMR batteries, which is who I use to get my batteries, they're in
Mm-hmm.
Texas. So,
Okay.
um, but I mean, that's another great company.
Mm-hmm.
If things go a certain way, I may look into getting some vape sponsorships for the
Ooh,
podcast. How great would that be?
that would be pretty awesome.
Because it'd just be like, hey, yeah, thanks for promoting our stuff. Here's a little package. Like, because sometimes they'll do that, like especially the smaller places. Um, they'll be like, uh, I'll take for example the local shop by me, well, the local shop that I used to go to. On my Twitch channel, I had on the bot like a thing saying, "Hey, this is where he gets his liquid and his devices and stuff from. Check them out." So if somebody were to go there or call them and place an order and stuff and mention that I was the one that recommended them, when I would go in, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, here's a free bottle of juice." And I was just, and it's like, "Thank you for driving up business." And it's like, "Well, that's some shit." So it was really cool, really awesome. I liked that, and it was very nice. It really was. I would absolutely love to have a sponsor that's just like, "Oh hey, here's a new device." Like,
Oh, that'd be so fucking amazing.
yeah. Because there's one thing I didn't tell you about this whole getting into the vape game.
Of course.
Because I didn't want to scare you away.
Of course.
The vape game is constantly changing and evolving. New devices come out all the time and stuff. There are people that have to have the newest thing that's out. And sometimes those new things are good. Sometimes they're garbage. I have a box mod. I talk about how I talked about how I got the the Predator 228 and the modified mod defined Cirrus is what I'm using now. But there was a box mod I had before that, or even before the Rouleau RX 300, and that was the Cherry Bomb. The Cherry Bomb, in principle, seemed like an amazing thing. It was a wooden box mod.
Interesting.
Which, well, you could have gotten the standard metal version, which they had problems with because of the way it was wired or whatnot. The button would accidentally get itself locked into fire, which is very bad. And that was what happened on the metal ones. So I got the wooden one because I was just like, well, it's a wooden, it's a wooden box. It's got pinup art on it, which is nice. Really cool. So come to find out that that entire line was cursed.
Interesting.
The inside, I actually lost two batteries to it. Two of my VTC4s to it.
Oh shit.
The VTC4s are my preferred battery of choice. I've used them for years. They're terrific. But what happened was the device started to auto fire, and I wasn't paying attention to it.
Oh no.
So once I noticed that it was, I go to pull out the batteries. The batteries are like scorching hot.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh no, this is bad. And I look inside, all the thing for the holding tray for the batteries is all melted.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was just like, needless to say, those batteries never worked again.
Yeah, I'd imagine not.
Yeah, but it was one of those things. It was weird. But I mean, the internet's a very useful tool. Knowing people that use devices and know what they're looking at helps a lot too.
Yeah.
So you went with the Revenger X.
Yes.
Which initially, when you showed me the Revenger, I looked at it and I'm just like, this is a bit too advanced for somebody just starting out. And that's me, because that's me being the safety conscious person of like, I wouldn't. I mean, it's like, and this is going to be a really bad analogy,
Okay.
but it's like taking somebody their first time to a shooting range and going, here's an automatic. Here, enjoy the automatic. Have you fired before? No. Okay, yeah,
Jesus,
you'll be fine.
yeah.
So
Everything will be okay.
I mean, I have that mindset of I want to get people, like anybody that I personally educate on the topic, I want them to first off be safe. I want them to know how to use and how to operate their equipment properly.
Right.
That's the biggest thing, because user error happens all the time. The So like looking at the Revenger, I was just like, that might be a little bit too much, because I was thinking like, if this is going to be a thing, let's start off with a single battery model, that kind of thing, blah blah blah, something so you can get used to it. If you don't like it, you didn't drop a bunch of money on it, it's whatever.
Right.
But then the more I looked into the Revenger and some of the other mods that I recommended, I was just like, well, the Revenger X is a revision of the Revenger. And they've made things a lot more user friendly. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I like that. So I mean, it used to be when I started vaping, it was you got your education in the shop,
Right.
You would go in and say, hey, I'm looking to, for example, in my case, I'm looking to quit smoking. What do you recommend? And they go, well, most places would be like, well, we would actually recommend you start here because it's a low buy-in on it and such. If you like it, you can always go with another model and so on and so forth. These things have so many different safeties and all the other stuff, which is funny because I used one of those units for like a week. And then I bought myself something that was unregulated, all the other stuff, like didn't have safeties and shit. And then of course I told the story last night about how it was a pipe mod. So it looked like a little silver pipe. I would hold it like this, and yes, this is a good time. Yes. So I mean, it was one of those situations. It was really cool. But then I had my first rebuildable unit, which was the Kraken. Kraken was phenomenal. It was top coil, which you would wick down into a tank, and it would just kind of pull up from there. Really nice. Fragile as shit, though. The glass on it broke constantly.
Ooh.
And back then, it was not easy finding replacement glass for stuff like that. So, broken glass, looks like I got to buy a new one. That's another $40, it's... So, I'm using the Kraken. I have it built a specific way. And I'm not noticing any problems, really, until, like, the button's not working right. I'm like, well, what the fuck's wrong with the button? And we take it apart, we look at it, and it goes, your atomizer got so hot it desoldered the wire between. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, well, and they're like, yeah, these aren't really meant to be using those kind of units on. I'm like, well, fair enough. I know that now. But then I went into my first mechanical mod, and mechanical mods are essentially a tube, a button, and a contact to hook up your atomizer to. That's it. And I was in that world for just mechanical mods for something like 3 years, 4 years. And then last year I decided to go because I mean the cherry bomb was in that like mechanical mod phase as well.
Right.
Because it was a mechanical mod. It was a button. It had no electronics in it, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean no circuit boards or whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, it's just I mean it's one of those things. Like I left the mechanical mods and I went to an RX 300 Rouleau,
Mm-hmm.
which holds 4 fucking batteries. Goes up to 300 watts. Thing is a fucking beast. It's a nice, I would say, little unit, but it's not really that little.
Right.
You're use this as an example. So it was like holding that.
Oh God.
Yeah. Unless I can find it, and then I can actually show you.
Mm-hmm.
It's somewhere.
It's around.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it comes down to. It's around somewhere. I'll find it later. I'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh well, I could have worried this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I went with that. Then I got the Wismec Predator 228, which it's a good little unit. The only thing that sucks is I have to take it apart like every 3 days to clean it,
Right.
which is time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Cirrus here, which is honestly my go-to. It fits well in the hand, lefty or righty.
Mm-hmm.
Though typically you want to keep your screen palm out. So
Right.
but yeah. And I mean you get into a whole world of like flavor and all the other stuff too. And I mean I know we talked about it already with like certain ones like these are like, oh, you're looking at this kind of flavor, I recommend this. You know? Oh, you're looking at something with a bit of a sour note to it, go with Savage Underwood, the blue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go with you're looking for like more of a like a really good pound cake, go with Pound It.
Right.
You're looking to save a few bucks, go with anything from Centerfold because they put high quality juice out, and I mean, it's relatively. We're talking like $25 for 120 mil. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when it's not on sale, and they run sales constantly. So, if any vape company wants to sponsor us, you can send all your business inquiries to precipicetodd@gmail.com. I will be glad to read through it and go over the proposals with Mori here on
Yes.
on what you guys would like us to do. It'd be great. It'd be awesome. And while I'm kind of going on the topic, there's also Loot Crate. Loot Crate is awesome. I've used it in the past. I don't use it currently because of financial reasons, but it's a terrific service. Mystery box every month, different themes. There's multiple different box types you can get. There's a new horror box that's coming out. I read something about a Deadpool box coming, which is going to be cool.
Ooh.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested in signing up for Loot Crate, you can cancel at any time. Just link in the show notes. So there's that. Still waiting to hear from Crunchyroll. Yeah, I know. I mentioned it to Wes and Marco last night, and they were just like, wait, you sent an email to Crunchyroll about getting. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, that would be fucking great. It's just like, yup.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Because I know, like, they love it. You love it. Ray loves it. Me and Ballin are the two old guys that are just like, I don't know. I'm not sure about this fancy Japanese animation. But this dates me a bit. But back when
back in my day.
It's gonna sound that way.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I watched anime, when I started watching anime, it was marketed as Japanimation.
Interesting.
Yes. And you had like Ghost in the Shell, Wicked City, Akira. You know, you didn't have really series. It was just like all like one shot movies. So I mean, it was pretty cool. And then I mean, then there was that's my earliest memory. And then we had like Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, and you know, I got the 3 seasons of Sailor Moon because fuck you. That's why. Yeah. Every
To
morning.
be fair, Sailor Moon was my like first anime that I remember.
Sailor Moon was amazing.
It was. It still is.
It's one of those things like I've been meaning to get back to watching it
Mm-hmm.
because you know I've been out of the anime game for a decade,
Yeah.
over a decade. I think the
Mhm.
last time I watched anime was back when I was like 18, 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back in my day. Um, but I mean, it was one of those things. Like I would watch those, and back then, and I haven't found anything that really grabbed me. Every now and then, I would be on Netflix, something would pop on my list, and I'm like, oh hey, maybe I should check this out. And half the time, I'm just like, fucking no, I don't
Mhm.
no, nope, nope, nope. And it's one of those situations, but I mean, I've looked over the list that Crunchyroll has, and holy
Mhm.
shit, am I kind of impressed.
Oh my god, it is. It's huge.
Yeah.
It is so big. That's what she said.
Well then.
I I was watching anime with Anubis. We kind of stopped for a bit. We need to get back into it. A good series I would highly recommend is the Ancient Magus Bride. It just came out. It is gorgeous and wonderful, and it is a lovely story.
Is
I
it on
think.
Crunchyroll?
Yes, it is on Crunchyroll. If
Interesting.
you want something more towards like the weirder side, there's a food-based anime where people basically orgasm when they eat and their clothes fly off. It is actually pretty goddamn amazing. It's
Is that the bento one?
mm, uh, don't think so. It's called Food Wars. I can't remember the Japanese name off the top of my head.
Mm.
I'll have to look for it later and send that your way. But if you want something completely ridiculous but still like pretty fun to watch, I would recommend that as well.
Yeah, because I mean, I've had some recommended to me over the years,
Mhm.
especially from the ex, because she was
Right.
really into anime.
Right.
So it'd be
Like my
like, oh
ex.
hey, huh, whatever,
Like my ex. Anyways.
and it was just like, oh hey, you based on what you like already,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, based on what I like already, like, well, the kind of movies you like already, and I'm like, uh-huh.
And
It's just like, you probably like, you know what? I'll just add them to your Netflix queue. And then I would sit there going through my Netflix queue, and I'm just like, no. And I mean, there was some of them, like, there was High School of the Dead, which got
Mhm.
recommended to me, like, constantly. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I watched the first episode and I couldn't get into it, you know?
Mhm.
And it's just like, but, and then there was one that had, like, basically, like, super boob physics or something like that. I forget what the,
Oh yes.
yeah.
Jiggle physics.
Yeah, it's just, and it's like a bullet's being shot, and like as they're leaning back, the boobs kind of just flop and like
Yep. Yep.
like
I
in
remember
opposite
seeing that.
directions, and the bullet goes right between
Yep.
the cleavage, and
Yep.
you're just like, what the
I've seen that.
fuck?
I've seen that gif before. It's really
Yeah,
fucking weird.
yeah. It's just, I mean, the one of them that I would probably give a fair shot to is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the gifs that I've seen.
Right.
It just looks ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, those are the things. Like, I'm not versed in anime.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I was more worldly in that sense.
Right.
But, you ask me about like trauma films, I can give you fucking answers on trauma films for days. Ask me about horror films, classic horror especially. I can give you answers for days. Like, people want to know
Right.
movie recommendations. What are you into? What kind of films do you watch? I probably have something I could recommend that'll either disturb you or make you feel really good about yourself.
Okay.
I'm looking for there was one time somebody asked me, like, I'm looking for like a very romantic horror film because like I really like horror and she really likes romantic films, and I thought that, you know, maybe if I found something that met both of our needs, she'd be more willing to watch horror films with me. And I'm just like, audition. And he's just like, what's that? And I'm like, it's a fucking romance horror film. Little did I tell him it was the most disturbing fucking anime, Asian horror film I've ever seen. I've only been able to watch it once. That says
quite a lot.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I've been marathoning like fucking Toxic Avenger and Sergeant Kabuki-Man and NYPD and shit like that. But it's like, you give me like Asian horror, I can deal with most of it. But some of it, like when you get to like the Asian gross out horror, no.
Right.
I can't.
Right.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. And I noticed that Crunchyroll does also have Asian dramas, which was really cool. I thought that was actually pretty awesome because I'm like, oh, that's really cool, really awesome. I kind of wish they had more of a selection on those, and more, not even just dramas, but more of like archival, like especially like Japanese television. Like I would love with some of the Japanese game shows on like Crunchyroll. I would be all over that shit if it was just like, oh hey, by the way, we have the rights for Takeshi's Castle, and I'm like, fuck yes, let's do this now. And I would you wouldn't hear from me for like a week. I'm just sitting here like just staring. All of a sudden, all my Discord buzzes, and I, not even looking over, I'll just click the video on, and you just look over and you're like, holy Jesus, what happened to you? And I'm just like, Takeshi's Castle. What do you mean, Takeshi's Castle? I've been binge watching every episode. I haven't slept in 4 days. You look like you haven't slept in a few days. Have you eaten? What is food? I don't need it. So yeah, I mean, it would just be like one of those situations because I really like those. I really like shows like that. Just, I mean, right now my jam is because it's on Amazon Prime uncensored. Hell's Kitchen.
Oh
yeah. So I've been watching like Hell's Kitchen, like they have seasons 1 through I think 15. And I mean, there's none of that bleeping bullshit. Like when he curses them out, you hear him curse them out. It is fucking terrific. Why don't you just fuck off right now up to the dorms? Go fuck off. And I'm like, yes, this is everything I've always wanted. Yell at me, Gordon Senpai. Yell at me.
Oh, that's a dead.
No. What were you gonna say?
Nothing. Totally not a weird kink at all. You know, you do you.
Hey, I mean, it's just, I honestly think some of the people fuck up intentionally, so he will yell at them.
Probably.
Because it's like it's a thing to do. Like, and I mean, it adds drama to the show and everything, but I mean, I love cooking competitions. I really do. And seeing, like, I don't like so much the challenge portion Like, oh, well, you have to go and chase down chickens, and for every chicken you pen up, you get an ingredient. I'm not really big into that part of it. I am big into like okay, we got a dinner service. There's 6 of us here. Nobody fuck up. And there's the first appetizer out. Who cooked the risotto? Who the fuck called the risotto? And you're just like, oh, god damn it, Chino. Why did you do that? Why did you fuck up so bad? You said you had this. You said you didn't need any help. You had the recipe memorized. You were good. There's gonna be no problems. And you done goofed. You done fucked up. Oh, God. So nice not talking about wrestling.
I know. I mean, we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, yeah, well, that's true.
But just like as a starter, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nice. as a nice appetizer, we've talked about body waxing, vaping, and Gordon Ramsay.
I love it.
Almost as much as I love making you laugh.
I know.
I mean, when you had told me, when you messaged me earlier saying, I'm listening to Brothering Around episode 55, and I'm laughing my ass off. Like, I'm sitting here with a big smile on my face going like, mission accomplished.
It was starting to hurt to not laugh because I use public transportation. I don't want people to look at me like I'm the crazy woman on the bus. So it's like I'm trying so hard to like hold in my laughter, and it was painful. Yep. I had to stop listening after a while. Yeah. It was like I can't do this.
Yeah, no, I mean
music something.
I mean it was a good episode. I mean we always obviously we miss you over there.
I miss you guys.
But yeah, it's one of those situations where you get 3 people together, and it's just, it's really a personality thing. You know, like you put me and Ballin together, and what we do is we try to make Ray groan as much as possible, because that's a lot of fun too.
Right.
I mean, Ballin just hits those puns like nobody's business. It's just...
Oh, God. He's the master of puns.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got, then we have the Brothering Around crew, and you put me and Wes together, and it's just like...
Oh, God. It is the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's the thing the internet needed. They didn't know it, but they needed it. And meanwhile, Marco's kind of like the straight guy who's just like... He's cracking up over it. Like, Wes has flat out said, like, one of his goals is to make Marco laugh. It's much like my goal is to make you laugh.
Right.
So, when it was the 4 of us, it was this whole little interesting thing happening where he's trying to make Marco laugh. I'm trying to make you laugh. And it inadvertently would make everybody laugh. And it's just like, oh, this is terrific. I loved it. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fucking fun. And, yeah, so... Did you mention which flavors you got?
I got that ube cheesecake that you recommended. I picked up a s'mores flavor from Charlie's Chalk Dust, just because the name of the company just sounds freaking weird. And I also picked up Bubble Milk by the Milk, because I'm a fan of bubble tea.
Nice.
And it's like a honey, jasmine, green tea, boba thing. Sounds really unique. I'm very excited.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like, if you can get somebody excited about something, and I don't even know how it became my fault.
Well, you showed me you mentioned that you got the ladies, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's either you got fucking waifu body pillows or it's something else entirely that I have no goddamn idea. I'm kidding. And you showed me the pictures of like the vape flavors that you got, and it's like, okay, those look really interesting. And then you start describing all the flavors, like those sound really good, and then it just kind of ballooned from there. So technically, yes, it is your fault.
Fair.
And then, of course, Anubis didn't help much with like, yeah, I wouldn't care if you started vaping. He's like, as soon as I wean myself down to 0 milligrams, I'm not gonna stop. So you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting comfortably at 3 milligrams, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gone back up to 6, and he's gonna try to go back down to 3 next.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Man, too bad that this is so expensive.
Which one?
Oh, this gem here. Probably make that a red bubble for like $20 cheaper.
Yeah, probably. Now we're looking at body pillows with
weird
dudes
body
on
pillows,
them.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, god damn it, eBay. There was one that was that I okay. I'm just gonna send you this link.
Okay, I'm afraid to know what you found. I mean, but does that remotely surprise you?
It doesn't, but at the same time, I'm like, part of me is just like, oh, okay, I understand, like, oh,
Yeah.
like, I understand the concept of it,
Mm-hmm.
but did we really need to use, like, May Mercy Diva from Overwatch?
I love that there's like the first version of May is like, you know, really curvy but still kind of skinny, and then you scroll down to the fourth one and it's May where she's thicker, basically.
Which I'm not gonna lie, that's the one I would prefer.
Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Yeah, I mean, like, Slim, I'm gonna call her Slim May, is like, I wouldn't say no, but at the same time, like, you put her next to the thicker version, and I'm sorry.
No competition.
I'm sorry, Skinny May. Sorry. I'm not sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's just fucking weird shit you find on the internet. Like, there was one that I'm looking for specifically, which was a they're trying to remember what it was, but it was basically just like a fat guy on there, and it was essentially like a is this it?
No, is it?
No, that's not it. But it was like a male waifu body pillow. And it was just like a basically a really like I guess the term is dad bod dude on there. It was just the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. And it was like $60.
Oh my god.
Like, well, that's a thing. But yeah, it's just, I mean, it's fucking weird. Like the whole concept.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of funny when I'm going to the Tawaji's in Seattle, and you go to the bookstore there, and they actually fucking sell like the pillowcase, the cases for the pillows of like the waifus, and it's hilarious. I keep trying to find one to torment Anubis with, and I haven't found it yet.
Fair. Fair. I mean,
Like, I've seen it online.
Mm, but you want to get it locally.
Yes, exactly. Support your local business.
Yep. When you can. When they don't decide to bend you over for their prices.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you, Internet, for cheap vape prices.
Yes. Thank you, Internet gods.
Yeah, because I'll be perfectly honest with you. The vape you bought, if you had gone to a shop, would have easily been double that price.
Oh, absolutely. I actually talked to Anubis while I was like, looking online and doing like pricing and stuff. Is like, why the fuck did the stuff that we got cost so goddamn much? It's like, because it came from the shop. It come from this place or this place.
Whether it's liquid or mods or atomizers or dryer kits or whatnot,
right?
Whatever you're into. If you go to a shop to pick it up, you are easily going to be spending twice of what you would online.
Oh, absolutely. I think
in most cases. I mean, there's some cases where they'll be on par, but 9 times out of 10, like.
Oh fuck no! Because I think what we got was what was it? It was a set of batteries, a 2-pack of batteries. It was the Baby Beast, 5-pack of fucking coils, and he also got some vape juice. And like the chick threw in the vape juice for $1 because everything else costed like over $125.
Yeah,
fucking insane.
Yeah. See, and I mean, like that's one of those things people look at though, like when it comes to getting started into it, because they'll talk to people and they'll be like, well, how much did you pay for your unit? And it's like, I mean, if I'm going to use mine right here, I got this all online, and it was $30 for the atomizer, $40 for the mod, and then the batteries I pay like $5 a piece on.
Right.
So that doesn't sound too bad. And then of course you factor in juice and all the other stuff afterwards. But my first setup I bought from a shop ran me damn near like $120, almost $200. And I mean, I'm not even talking. I'm not talking like the pipe mod. I'm not talking the little fucking pen vape thing. I'm talking about like my first like actual setup.
Right.
And because I needed a new atomizer because it wouldn't work with the ones I had wouldn't work with the unit I was going with. I had to get batteries. I mean the mod itself was I think like 60. The atomizer was another 60. So I'm right there at 120. I bought 2 batteries. Each battery was $25 a piece. So that's another $50. And then I needed to buy the charger, and I think I paid like $30 for that. So just about 200. And it was just that's because I bought it at a shop, and I'm not down talking shops at all. There are some good ones. This was years ago, and people didn't know better. I mean,
right.
I'll still go in the shops though. Like, it's nice. There's a few good ones by me still. One of them I used to go to after I left work at the gas station. It's a place called Vape Effects, and the guy who runs the place, Jimmy's a fucking saint. He is probably one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I would walk in, he would see me, he goes, hey, hey, how you doing? It's been I haven't seen you in a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, I just figure I would stop in on my way home. And he goes, oh, cool. He goes, how long do you think you're gonna be here for? Like, not like, well, how long do you think you're gonna be here for? But it's just like, oh, well, how long do you think you're gonna be here for? Like, do you have a timetable? You got to be somewhere or whatever? And I'm like, nah. And he goes, okay. And he would turn around and he would go to the juice wall and just grab bottles and put them in front of me. He goes, try these. He goes, if I have to, I will rebuild your fucking atomizer.
Mm-hmm.
I will do that. That is not a problem. I will do that. I will rewick it. I'll do whatever. Just you got to try these things. And I'm just like, all right, all
Fair
right.
enough.
And I would sit there and I'm like, ooh, this one's good. And he goes, yeah, that one's nice, isn't it? Now try this one. And I'm like, oh. There was a few of them he gave to me, and I was just like, I would try it, and I'm just like, all right, I think I'm done. And he goes, but there's still more flavors. I'm like, I don't want to ruin what I just experienced. And he goes, I get you. I get you on that. And what was it? I'm trying to remember what. I know what the flavor was, but I don't remember which brand it was.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Because I'm a professional and I'm super prepared.
Totally. Awkward silence.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at shit. You're looking at
Yeah.
shit. So, you know.
Yeah, when I see the label, I'll know exactly which one it is. Show me the fucking label. Piece of shit. No, that ain't it. But it was a Boston cream flavored vape.
Ooh. Oh, that sounds good.
It was so fucking good. I have a big soft spot for bakery flavors when it comes to, like, I enjoy dessert flavors hands down.
Right.
But bakery flavors in that subset are just so fucking good. And yeah, it just, oh, it was one of those that I tried and I was just like, oh my god, this is, this is the one. And it's just like, well, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm 100% sure. This this is the one for me. But yeah, it was a like, if you ever get curious about like donut flavors, I have a few good ones
Okay.
that I've enjoyed. Just by like brand. There's a brand called Doughboy. And like all they do is, like, well, at least at the time, all they did was donut flavors. And fucking amazing. Real amazing. Let me see if, yeah, Vape Centric still has them, which is really cool. This is one I enjoyed very much. Glazed and Confused.
Fantastic name.
Oh, it's absolutely delicious. So it is a chocolate glazed donut, basically, in a vape. You're just like, oh. But then they got like Bluebees, which is a blueberry donut, which is fun to say. Like, what are you vaping? Bluebees. What? Repeat that? Bluebees.
Run that by me again.
But they, they got like a Dickens cider flavored one, which is
What?
Dixon cider. Dixon apostrophe S.
I don't
Cider.
know. Oh, sure. Okay.
It is basically an apple cider flavored donut flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dixon cider is like pretty much one of the go-to brands.
Right.
On that.
Okay.
Automatic. What the fuck? Give me details, motherfuckers. I don't have a profile. DG? No, just tell me what the fuck it is. Piece of shit. I hate you sometimes, internet. You fail me. Yeah, and I can't find the fucking Bavarian cream one I had, which was so good. So good. But yeah, it's been a very interesting show so far. So I guess maybe we should.
Yeah, we should talk about wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, we've been
pretty sure it's getting late for you. It's getting late for me. We should
yeah,
move it along.
Yep. All right, so Charlotte Flair is getting surgery.
Yep.
She's gonna finish the UK tour, and then afterwards she's going the European tour, and then get surgery done, and she should be back in time for SummerSlam. So for those curious, she before Mania, ruptured an implant.
Ooh.
And has been holding off the surgery. So, it might have been one of the reasons why the whole Carmella cash-in thing happened the way it did, and so on and so forth. WWE looks like they're signing a new deal with NBC, which is going to be cool. What?
Ooh. Do we have new information on something?
We have new information on something that happened back in the Mae Young Classic.
Ooh.
So, if you guys are familiar with the Mae Young Classic, there were multiple female talent that they should have signed. There was one talent who was signed, but she tore ACL and whatnot. She just recently did an NXT taping. So Nixon Newell, which is what she wrestled under in the Indies, I think she's wrestling under her shoot name Stephanie Newell in NXT, which is cool. But there's this is according to the Wrestling Observer, which honestly, one of those things typically they don't get it wrong.
Right.
Wrestling Observer is saying that there is a belief in the UK that Toni Storm has signed a deal with the WWE.
Ooh.
Yes. Toni Storm was one of those standouts from the Mae Young Classic that you're like, why the fuck did they not sign her? And it's like her, Piper Niven, both of them. I mean, I would have liked to see them both.
Oh, absolutely.
To show how much the WWE respected both of them, they flew both of them out from Japan and flew them back to Japan so they could be there for the finals of the Mae Young Classic.
Right.
That was something that was really cool and awesome. Also, Wrestling Observer newsletter is saying that there's talk that the next AJ Shinsuke match will be a last man standing.
Interesting.
Which doesn't help the fact that they both knocked each other out at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
With nut shots.
That's immediately what I thought too, as well. It could still be a double
count out, yeah.
Yeah, double count out. I was about to say double DQ. It's like, no, because you can't really be qualified in it yet. Anyways.
Um.
So I guess whoever has their balls hurt the least wins.
Pretty much.
Please wear a cup, gentlemen.
So, so there was a lot of talk because we have Takeover coming. Takeover is coming right before Money in the Bank. So it'll be in Chicago. So it'll be Takeover Chicago 2.
Yep.
And it looks like we have a card.
Yay.
Aleister Black against Lars Sullivan.
Interesting.
Oh, wait, hold on. For those people that don't want to have the card spoiled for them, I may have already.
Oopsies.
But yeah, Lars Sullivan, Aleister Black. It looks like they're setting up Velveteen Dream Ricochet.
Interesting.
Which should be really cool. The other matches that have been announced as per the tapings, and they just did a taping, but they didn't update. The sites I use haven't updated the match card yet for Takeover. But I mean, even before that, they had a pretty stacked card. Seems like they're building towards the Ricochet and Velveteen Dream thing, which will be good. Aleister Black, Lars Sullivan. Now this one kind of takes me. This one I'm excited about, but at the same time I'm not.
Right.
Shayna Baszler. That's why I'm not excited.
Yeah.
Against Nikki Cross.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Battle of the Crazy Chicks. I am intrigued.
Yeah, so they might be doing this to have Baszler go over.
Potentially.
They do it that way, and then they can bring Nikki Cross up to the main roster. Because she's been ready.
Yeah, she has. The fact that she didn't come up with the rest of Sanity still boggles my goddamn mind.
I think this would explain why they didn't bring her up with Sanity. But it would give her time to she does this, and then at Money in the Bank, Sanity's there. She does a run in or whatever, blah blah blah.
Right.
And then the big match, the one you're excited about, the one I'm excited about. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa 2 in a street fight. You guys can see the smile that Mori is giving.
I'm gonna wear my DIY shirt because I hate myself.
Yep. Because you did it yourself. You did it to yourself.
Yeah, this is why I don't buy team merch anymore.
Yeah.
For those of you that have not heard the story, I think it was like the day after my DIY shirt came in is when they broke up, and I was so goddamn sad.
The shirt came in that week. The first time you were wearing it was...
I think I had received it the day before. It came in...
Takeover Chicago.
And came in the day before.
Wow, it's been a year since they started this whole feud.
I know.
Or
holy
something
shit.
like that, yeah. So, I mean, it's a perfect place to do the blow-off.
Yeah, it is. So I'm wondering, because I know that, Gargano is pretty much ready to go up to the main roster. It's probably still not going to happen for a while, but with, the call-ups, already saying that they're going to Raw or SmackDown, they still haven't really debuted yet, from what I've heard.
Yeah, they haven't.
So I think, when Gargano gets called up, Ciampa's probably going to go up there with him to probably continue that. It's just not going to be right now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for me, I know this is just me being the selfish fan I am. I would prefer if they took Gargano up when they felt Candice LeRae was ready.
Right.
And have them go up together. Because I just think
I
just think that's to be a way better and classier move.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, she's another one. She's ready.
Oh yeah.
She's more than ready to do that. Cassius Ohno's another one. It's like he's been ready, but he's kind of a gatekeeper now.
Yeah, he's kind of being ziggled into stuff.
But I mean, he just had on the NXT that just aired. It was
Spoilers.
him, huh?
Is potential spoilers?
Oh no, it aired yesterday. So
okay. Well, I haven't seen it. I don't know how
it was him and Ciampa.
Yeah, I knew it was him and Ciampa. I don't know who won though.
And typically they use Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, as to see if somebody's ready. Like that's the role he's filling right now. So I mean, before Aleister Black got a championship, like he went through Ohno. I mean, there's just the whole list there. So I mean, I'm kind of excited. I kind of hope that they do something really good with them. But yeah, I mean, it's should we talk about Big Ass?
Yeah, let's talk about Big Ass because, he's an idiot.
Oh yeah. So, this is a cautionary tale of why you don't fucking go into business for yourself. So last week on SmackDown, right before the pay-per-view, Big Cass did a segment where he brought in a little person dressed up like Daniel Bryan. And the whole thing was, I'm a big guy, you're blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And then he was going to hit him with a big boot, and that was going to end the segment. So, Pro Wrestling Sheet's reporting that Cass had gone to some of the agents and said, well, what if I do this, this, and this? And you're like, no, just hit him with the big boot. It'll end this. You end the segment there, and that's it. He didn't think that was good enough, so he went to Vince. And Vince said the same thing. Goes, you hit the little guy with the big boot, and then that'll end the segment. And Cass decided that he was going to hit him with the big boot, and then afterwards he kind of almost tackles and jumps on top of him and starts laying in punches. And you're like, huh. Well, so apparently that pissed off not only the agents but also Vince. Some people are saying this is the reason why Cass lost at the pay-per-view. He would have probably lost at the pay-per-view to begin with. So
right.
But it also explains why the only time we've seen Cass since the pay-per-view is on a WWE.com exclusive video. So yeah, he's kind of in trouble. Which this is what happens. Like a worker feels that they know more than the people producing the product. And they decide, like, it's one thing to do something and it's spectacular, but this was just like malicious, And that, I mean, that's exactly what they did, and it was just fucking bullshit. Oh,
that face. Oh, what did that face see? I'm afraid to know. Do tell. Oh no.
Do you want to handle this one? Because I'm still in a little shock.
Yeah. Apparently at the Today Show, and not the Today Show as in the morning segment, the today's SmackDown, May 10th, at I know I'm gonna fuck this up because I don't speak German, Oberhausen. Oberhausen?
Oberhausen, yeah.
Yeah, that thing. Apparently, Carmella faced off with Charlotte Flair, and apparently Flair kind of got her teeth kicked in, literally. I haven't seen the video.
Yeah,
I
neither.
kind of don't want to.
I'm gonna play the video.
You do that.
I can't drink a drink. I lost my teeth. Oh my god! Oh my god! I can't drink a drink. I lost my teeth.
Oh, it's picture. It's her with a fan. The fan wants to take a photo, and she goes, "I can't take a picture. I lost my teeth."
Oh no.
So yeah, it was on the undercard of the house show. Carmella kicked face off with Flair, and may have kicked the opponent's teeth into the front row.
Oh shit.
So yeah, this is just
Whoopsie.
this is just breaking now. So we'll know more about this soon. You may notice we're not talking about Backlash.
There's a good reason, because it was goddamn fucking awful.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst pay-per-view they've had this year, if not like, I don't know how many past years.
It's the worst one of the year.
So far.
I'll say it's the worst one of the year because the Greatest Royal Rumble was a glorified house show.
Yeah, it was. At least you had like Titus sliding into the under the ring.
There's a video of Corey Graves on the Sam Roberts show on Sirius XM, and it's basically a video of him laughing at Titus diving.
I was listening to Titan Fights earlier, and they kind of played the clip of just Corey Graves laughing.
Yeah.
As like Titus slid underneath it was the best.
Yeah, it's just
it was amazing.
Yeah, it's just it's an interesting it's funny that it's the most memorable part of that whole fucking show. But now I promised that we would, considering we still talk wrestling and everything like that, we would end up starting to talk more New Japan and such. So the brackets for the Super Juniors tournament is out. I have to pull that up. But Dominion, June 9th, Osaka Joe Hall. We're getting Chris Jericho and Tetsuya Naito, which is going to be great. He actually, Jericho did a thing, and this is kind of similar to what happened with Kenny Omega. So I know I sent you this link earlier. I'm gonna resend it.
Okay.
I'm gonna play it because it's just so fucking good. Of course, the stinger from the person that put it up.
You see what happens, Naito? Huh? You see what happens? You piece of shit? Huh? Huh? Naito! You hear me? Huh? You hear me? Get your hands off me, you fuck! Huh? Come on, Naito! Huh? What you got? What you got, huh? What you got? You see what happens? Huh? Keep your nose out of my shit, Naito! Huh?
Love it.
You want some? Huh? No. Get out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. That's my message, Naito! I'm coming for you, fuck!
fucking Angry Jericho is best Jericho.
It is. It really is.
That's what you get for getting my shit. I'm coming for you, you fuck.
He's you can tell it's like very, for me I can tell it's very like overdone.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I mean it's no him throwing a table at Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
Which was fucking gold.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's really cool to see that. Also on that card, we have a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Oh.
Between Kazuchika Okada
and
Kenny Omega.
That's right.
Not only is it 2 out of 3 falls, it's no time limit.
Oh, that's right. Oh.
So,
that is exciting.
Yeah, so I mean that's a pretty big deal.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's just you got that. Rey Mysterio is supposed to be working the show as well.
I saw that as well.
They haven't announced who he is facing. No, that's last year's. Let's look at this year's. Okay, so right now, this is the card going into Dominion. Kazuchika Okada against Kenny Omega in a no time limit best 2 out of 3 falls for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Tetsuo Naito against Chris Jericho for the IWGP Intercontinental title. Los Ingobernables de Japón, Evil and Sonata against the Young Bucks for the IWGP Tag Team Championships because they're no longer juniors.
Right.
What's this fuck doing on this card?
Which one?
We got Hiroki Goto against Tai Chi against Michael Elgin.
Oh, I thought it was Elgin.
Yeah. For the Never Open Weight Championship. Rey Mysterio Jr. versus a opponent to be announced, to be determined.
Interesting.
And Will Ospreay defending his IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against the winner of the Best of Super Juniors. So, Best of Super Juniors, and this kind of leads into that as well. Because, I mean, that just got announced. Yeah, so the 2018 one starts May 18th and it runs through June 4th. They revealed the participants a couple days ago. In Block A, we have ACH, Bushi, Flip Gordon, Taiji Ishimori, who's actually the new member of Bullet Club.
Nice.
They'd been running these whole like Bone Soldiers coming thing. He was Bone Soldier, so it was actually pretty cool.
Okay.
Tiger Mask 4, Will Ospreay, Yo, Yoshinobu Kanemaru. That's your first block. So Will Ospreay, like when it comes to the Best of Super Juniors, there's always the champion's always involved. It's just like the G1, the champion, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion's always involved. Block B, we have Chris Sabin, which is interesting. We, so he's, him, Flip Gordon are associated with Ring of Honor. ACH is an independent. We have Dragon Lee coming from CMLL,
Mm-hmm.
El Desperado, Hiromu Takahashi, Kushida, Marty Skrull, Ryosuke Taguchi, and Sho. So, I mean, you have Roppongi 3K in there. You have the heavy hitters in the sense of Osprey and Kushida, Hiromu, and Marty. You got Bushi in there, which I'm excited about. You got Flip Gordon, which is funny that I'm excited about that. But so the tournament hasn't started yet. It works very much like the G1. So basically, whoever has the most points at the end of their block goes up against the winner of the other block.
Right.
In the finals will actually take place on June 4th. And then June 9th, 5 days later, they go up against Will Ospreay. That's if Will Ospreay doesn't win it himself.
Right.
Because if he does, then they got to come up with a challenger. So, so I mean, that's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting times for New Japan. Their super juniors or their junior weight is the way that WWE should handle the cruiserweights, in my opinion. But yeah, it's just, I mean, obviously the two big high profile matches is going to be your Okada Omega 4 and your Naito Jericho. So I mean, those are your two big matches. I'm super fucking excited about that. We have a strong style event coming up. In the US. I know Marco said that he's supposed to be going to it, so that'd be really cool.
Oh.
Yeah. Marco mentioned that. I was just like, oh, you lucky son of a bitch. It might be a second. No, it's not Global Wars. I forget which one it is, but yeah, it's just really interesting. Come on. Fuck.
Lord damn you.
Like, it's just like, oh, hey, just hit the thing so you can go to the next event. All right, cool. And it's like, nope. Lol. Like, son of a bitch.
It's kidding.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it did. And this is how professional I am, where I'm just like, oh, yeah, let me talk about a thing I really don't even remember when the event is and where it is. So, I mean, we got all the best Super Junior stuff. We have Dominion. We have Lionsgate Project 13. Kazuna Road. Wow, that was a rough one for me to say. So you got a bunch of those events. G1 special in San Francisco, July 7th at the Cow Palace. So that's the one, and that leads into 7 days later they kick off the G1.
Right.
Which we'll probably find out who's in the G1 come end of June, maybe. Because they'll do the whole press conference thing. They'll definitely do it before the G1 special.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's actually super exciting. I mean, then you got Road to Destruction, Kobe, blah, 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 all those events. Like, they have every event planned out till September 23rd. So, I mean, that's actually really cool. And then after that, like, they don't have a listing of like, oh, there's this event coming up and that event coming up and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm more excited about New Japan right now because just the way that they're fucking handling the WWE product, you know? Also, that old school mentality I have where I'm just like, I prefer people hitting hard. I want to believe that it's real. You know, that's the way I look at it. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. Like the network's done some really cool things as of late. Like they added a good bit of WCW Thunder on there, which can be a bit of a mess to watch. They also added the first year of Sunday Night Heat, so that's actually really cool. I'm excited about that because you get to see all the talent that really didn't break out onto like the old Raws and stuff. So you see guys like S.A. Rios.
Right.
You see Lita with S.A. Rios when back before she was with the Hardys and stuff. So, I mean, it's really cool, really interesting things.
Yes.
But anyway, I think that unless you have anything, I think that'll wrap us up. Oh yeah, the quick thing on Backlash. The best match on the card was the first match of the card.
Yeah, then that was the high point and the only high point of the entire goddamn thing.
Yeah, I mean, the first match was Miz and Rollins.
Yes.
And then everything from there, and no disrespect to the people that worked the matches.
Nope.
It was just really hard to get engaged in it.
Yeah.
I mean, there were points where I just kind of like, I'll be back. Like I did the whole I'll be back, and I just like walked away for like a half hour. So I mean, there was shit like that, and it was bad. It was a rough show.
I had somebody, or I knew somebody, or I know somebody, tenses are hard, that like turned it off like in the middle of the Nia Bliss match because he just lost interest and he didn't even go back to it.
Yeah, no,
which I honestly don't blame him.
That match, they did what they could. The build for the match was horrible. I couldn't get invested in it.
Nope.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, that's.
Yeah.
I feel really terrible about that.
Yeah,
but
I do too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, that's just it though. It was such a shit fucking show. Like, there's no reason for us to really even cover it,
Nope.
And I that's disappointing.
Yes.
I mean, I'm more interested in the fact that the night after they had the dinner for three with Shane, Kurt, and AJ, and they were promoting the Global Wrestling Network on WWE Network, which was very interesting. Like, to the point where they actually said, like, if you want to watch all the matches between AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, download the Global Wrestling app at this website. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Somebody's sleeping with somebody in order for this to be okay.
I
That's
honestly,
the only thing I can think of.
I think Anthem's very much like, since Jarrett's been gone from Impact Global Force, they've changed so fucking much. They're letting the workers that work there use their gimmicks, hence why we got EC3 and the Hardys.
Right.
Well, the broken universe.
Yes.
But they're also working a lot with like, they're letting Austin Aries work with Ring of Honor. So it's actually really a strange time, and I think the best thing Impact could do is to consolidate, or at least just kind of give WWE some of the matches to put up on the network.
Right.
And be like, you guys have Bobby Roode right now, you guys have AJ Styles, you have Samoa Joe. I mean, those are the big three. So let's give you their matches and let you just kind of air them there, and just all you got to do is, obviously pay us for the rights to the footage, but then just put the little thing saying, if you want to see more of this product, download the Global Wrestling app. Or what I would personally like is WWE Network just kind of steps in and goes, listen, you tried. If you want, we can give you a spot on our network. It gets a lot more eyes on your product. But here's the deal. So, I mean, that's just the way I look at it.
Right.
But anyway, that was a little rambly. Thank you guys for hanging out, listening to us, downloading us on your favorite podcast app, whether it's Radio Public, cheap plug, or iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, or watching this on the Twitch archive. We will catch you next time for another Gimmick Bag. Later.
Bye.